Welcome to another episode of DilSe Stories. We have once again a very special guest. Today we have Shireesh Gaur. Welcome, sir. Namaskar.
Welcome. Thanks, sir.
Would you mind introducing yourself to audience, please?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. I'm Shireesh Gaur. I'm 20 years old. I'm a aspiring actor, writer, director. Uh, I'm currently studying BBA in branding and advertising. Uh, I'm originally from Delhi. I'm currently in Bombay, and I guess that's it for now.
Great, and I'm Dr. Parag Bharadwaj. So, wow, 20 years old in Mumbai, aspiring actor, writer, and director. So, tell us about what got you interested in. I mean, it's a great combination, right? Because a lot of times individuals are focused just on acting, some in writing, some in directing, some in all three. So tell us about how you got interested in all three.
So, so I was originally only interested in acting, and I started stage performances and plays at the age of 5, 6, and I've been doing them since then. But now, when you try to do it at a bigger scale, something a bit more professional, तो पता चलता है कि आपके पास ज़्यादा outlets नहीं है, right? So then you end up doing everything on your own. So because मेरे को acting करनी थी, right? And अब मेरे पास budget नहीं है. I don't have the money for a cameraman. I don't have the money to rent lights every time I want to shoot. I don't have money for sets. So I would write my own scripts. I would write my own stories, जिनको मैं अपने घर में या अपनी सराउंडिंग्स में शूट कर सकता हूँ. So I would write according to that. And अब जब स्टोरी मेरी है तो पूरा विजन मेरा है. So I end up directing as well. अब if I need any co-actors, so उनके साथ भी I'm directing. कैमरामैन, लाइक आई सेड, कैमरामैन के लिए पैसे नहीं है, तो सेटअप करके पूरा कैमरा खुद हैंडल करना है. तो उसके साथ यू लर्न, एंड दैट्स हाउ आई आल्सो गॉट इनटू डायरेक्टिंग एंड राइटिंग. बट यस, ओरिजिनली द मेन गोल इज एक्टिंग, बट उसके साथ अब आई हैव आल्सो स्टार्ट टू एंजॉय डायरेक्टिंग एंड राइटिंग.
Very nice. So super talented. तो एक्टिंग कर लेते हो, राइटिंग कर लेते हो, डायरेक्टिंग कर लेते हो. Who does the editing of your videos?
एडिटिंग भी मैं ही करता हूँ, सो
Okay, got it. So you mentioned you're 20 years old and you came from Delhi to Mumbai. Tell us about that decision and that journey. Do you come from a family of artists, or uh, how was that? Because is it something that you had to convince your parents in terms of pursuing this career?
So I come from a family of business. My dad's a businessman. My mom's a businessman. They both work. And when I told them about my love for acting, they were very supportive. And they said this one thing was very beautiful. That was कि हमने अपनी पूरी जिंदगी आपके आपके लिए कमाने में बिता दी, right? So you should do what you love. And they have been my strength. They've been my biggest strength. They've been supporting me. Even when I came to Bombay, I was in a different college than in which I am now. And it was a very big cultural change for me because Delhi is a lot more desensitized, right? And there people take jokes very differently. There people take things very differently. So when I first came to college, okay, to give a little bit more of a backstory, in school, I was always you can say the center of the group, right? So I always had the spotlight with me, and I always had people ke Shirish kahan hai, Shirish nahi aaya, that kind of stuff. And when I shifted to Bombay and I wasn't gelling well with people. Firstly, I was gelling well with people, then I was like, यार ये क्या boring लोग है. I switched groups and it came back to bite me, where by the third or fourth month, I was left alone. And I uh, I got into depression because of it. And even then, my parents were my biggest support. When they saw what was happening, when they saw my condition, they were like, leave this college, take a gap year. So I did. I took a gap year. In that gap year, I acted. I studied under Barry John himself. Uh, and now I'm in a different college. So my parents have been my biggest strength when it comes to coming to Bombay. And another thing is that I always wanted to come to Bombay because acting is something where I feel alive. Okay, this is a place where I don't feel like it's work. I have been on like I said, the short films I make, short films I write and direct. Usme I have been on the set. I uh, call everyone at 7 in the morning. Right. We work throughout the day. Just a lighting change हो रही है, we take different scenes from the short film, and we work till 11, sometimes even 12. And उसके बाद सब घर जाके सिर्फ सोते हैं, and I'm just excited to work again the next day. I never feel tired when I'm acting. So this is my passion. This is what I want to do.
Awesome. So, how long does it take to make a short film? How many days? You said you usually get to the sets at 7,
So,
wind up
so
late night.
it takes about 2 to 3 days of just shooting because बहुत सारे factors आ जाते हैं. The lighting comes into play. You can say in a short film you need about an hour for a minute's worth of clips. Okay. उसके अलावा writing में takes me about 1 to 2 weeks because first draft आपका एक दिन में बन जाता है base storyline. Then you write it. Then you analyze कि क्या क्या फालतू है. You know, story में बहुत कुछ होता है which is not important to the story. So you cut that. Then you again read it out. Then you think कि okay, अब इसमें ये चीज थोड़ी stretched लग रही है. Right. So you cut that, you change that. And it's all about reiterating again and again. बार बार देखो, read it again, like नहीं यहाँ पे ये change होना चाहिए, नहीं इसमें ये अलग होना चाहिए. And you keep rewriting it. So that takes about a week or 2 weeks, sometimes more because I'm managing it with college. And उसके बाद once I'm done with the shooting takes it's mostly 2 to 3 days. उससे ज्यादा नहीं लगता because it's 10 minutes 20 minutes of short film, and हम सब लोग लगे पड़े होते हैं, and everyone's very involved, everyone's there. So and उसके बाद editing takes another 2 to 3 days.
Wow. Seems like you're able to get things done quite fast. I didn't expect it to be 2 to 3 days after the shooting. Yeah.
So it is way easier because it's my vision, right? I shoot it in a way, in the way that I want to show it to the audience, right? You plan everything beforehand. पूरा जो pre-production होता है उसमें पूरी storyboarding होती है, right? You shoot it in a way that you know कि अच्छा editing में, and you label your clips, right? So कि this is the final take, this is the final take. वो सब कुछ labeled होता है. Editing में you put it there, एंड बस एक को मैच करना होता है, दैट डज नॉट टेक एज मच टाइम.
Very nice. So, tell us about the genres that attract you. Because there's such a wide spectrum, right, of what you can choose to write on, act on, and also direct, of course. Uh, so, what do you gravitate towards?
uh, so again, I'm very versatile with it, and I would want to do um, more sci-fi and more thrillers. But the problem with them is you need uh, a lot of money to do that. You need a good production to do that. हर चीज में VFX छोड़ के अगर सिर्फ मेकअप की बात करें तो मेकअप में it you need a high budget for it, right? So I'm not able to do that. So I'm very versatile when it comes to directing. I love because I'm just starting out. But what I make currently is it's a niche of sometimes it's comedy. Like comedy is there because you need to keep the audience interested, and there's drama. So sometimes I make it on social issues. Like I recently made a play on domestic violence. So then usme I was the antagonist. So I love playing and I'm more of a kind of actor where मेरी आंखों में प्यार दिखता है. So I love doing the versatile roles where antagonist मुझे पूरा गुस्सा है. I could show you clips of it if you'd like. Uh, then I also make rom-coms. I think these are the three which I stick to, like rom-coms and drama
Got it. Now you
for
said
now.
you could share these with us. So, where can we find your works?
So okay, I uh it's more of performances, and I've made three short films. Again, not a lot. And पहली वाली तो काफी low quality थी, so I did not post it anywhere because that was the time when I was learning about lighting and everything. So that was weak. I have not posted them anywhere because this is more of my learning curve where I make these, and it's it's available with me on Google Drives, but I'm not posting it anywhere as of now. I will once I start making them, I'd say a bit more professionally. I'm coming up with this vampire series which I'll put up very soon. It'll mostly be on my Instagram only. It'll come as a reel series, a vertical short story, a short film. So you'll get to see that soon. But
Very
I'm
nice.
still in the works of writing that.
Yeah, because you do post reels, and some of them are
Yeah.
quite funny. It's you definitely hit the nail on the head when it comes to the comedy aspect of things. Now, tell us about, like, I'm just curious. So, with your love of the movies, growing up, which movies did you love watching, and can you name a few favorites?
Uh, so movies, I was never very मतलब ऐसी कोई फेवरेट नहीं थी, right? But I loved watching movies. I was all the big जो बड़े पर्दे पे जो movies आती like the big budget movies almost सारी ही देखी है जितनी देख पाया. If I have to list my favorites, I think more than favorites, I have comfort films. There's always ये जवानी है दीवानी ZNMD जो सबकी होती है. There are the Shahrukh classics, right? Uh, कुछ कुछ होता है DDL से. Then one not so common movie that was my comfort film was Tare Zameen Par. उसके अलावा so I did not have favorite films as such. I like a lot of movies, but I don't think I have a favorite film. My
Okay.
current, my recent favorite film was Tu Jhooti Main Makar because I loved how wholesome it was after a very long time. That a good, it was funny. It had drama. It was a proper rom-com, and it was very well made.
Well, I'll have to watch it now that you mention it. Any,
Definitely.
what's your dream project? What would be your dream project?
My dream project would be to do a rom-com with YRF, do a high budget proper rom-com movie. Because at the end of the day, that is my niche. That is where I thrive the best. Yes, it'll be a high budget YRF film.
Awesome. So yeah, wish you the best. Now, yeah, I look forward to seeing you on the big screen someday. The
Hopefully.
Tell us about your current journey. What is life like? I mean, there's so many aspiring actors like you in Mumbai.
Hmm.
What happens when you cross paths? Can you tell us some of the struggles that you go through, and what is a typical, you know, journey one goes through on the way to success?
So, one biggest struggle that I think all actors face is being disheartened because you do not get any roles. I'm currently studying in college and I don't actually have the uh, time to actually pursue a film if I get a part, if I get a role, that is, because I have a lot of attendance issues with college. But a lot of my actor friends that I know of have been giving auditions for the past 6 months, 1 year, and they do not land any roles. So they get very disheartened, which is the biggest problem when it comes to struggling actors or actors in general. Even many actors who get a very big break often do not get work for the next 4 5 years, which is very common in our industry. So how I feel you should deal with it is how I am dealing with it, being away from my craft. But keep making your own stuff, keep creating, keep doing what you love. Because at the end of the day, acting करनी है ना. If your goal is fame, it's a completely different matter. But if you actually want to act, then act. Keep working on your craft. Join a theater. So I feel then you won't be as disheartened. Obviously, बुरा लगेगा कि काम नहीं मिल रहा है. But you need to keep working for your craft. You cannot just sit के auditions दे रहा हूँ. Auditions में नहीं हो रहा है. कोई बात नहीं. Because then you'll get disheartened.
Yeah, because there is a level of fantasization, right? I mean, part of it is what you watch in movies as well, that okay, you land up in Mumbai and then you somehow land a role, right? And I
Hmm.
don't think it's that simple or that easy.
It's not.
Yeah. So how do you personally cope? Like you said, I mean, I think you're lucky because you've you have a way to engage yourself with your craft, right? You make your own short films, and from what you've told us so far, you're sharpening your skills. Uh, but then if some of them are just, like you said, they're focused on acting and getting a break in a movie, that might be a very different journey than what you are sort of like uh, going through right now. But
Hmm.
you too have faced, sounds like, some disappointments, and what is your way of coping with them?
So, uh, like I said, मैंने audition ज़्यादा नहीं दिए हैं. right? Because I do not have the time, very honestly. But I don't know, so I haven't gotten that disheartening feeling. मेको होता है मेरी performances देख के,
Yeah.
हर performance के बाद लगता है कि यार इसमें ना ये बेटर कर सकता था, यहाँ पर ये बेटर हो सकता था, यहाँ पर ये थोड़ा सा कैरिकेचरिश हो गया. It's it's just that for me, and that is what drives me to be better. So I don't think I would take that as a bad thing, because मैं जब भी देखता हूँ ना I'm like इससे बेहतर करना है यार, ऐसे नहीं, can't leave it at this.
Got it. Now, we spoke about a lot of things, but we didn't touch upon music.
Hmm.
So, what room does music have to play in your short films? Or has it not made its way yet into them?
So there's only background music which comes into play. Sometimes when there's a montage, so there is a song, but you need to be very careful because copyrights. So there is background music, but that's pretty much where I'm limited to when it comes to music in my short films.
Got it. Now, you mentioned Yash Raj films. Now, nowadays we have access to Hindi movies, English movies, movies from other countries. I mean, I think
Mhm.
Hindi movies are very distinct and unique when compared to the Hollywood productions, right? So,
Definitely.
uh, and then of course, once in a while, I mean, I don't get to watch movies as much as I used to, but there are movies from other parts of the world as well. So what?
Mhm.
How do you tend to learn about the craft of filmmaking, not just from Indian films, but also films from other countries?
So again, I have not watched a lot of them, but I have watched some. I basically go on either IMDb and I check out okay, what are the award-winning films, right? And Barry Sir himself used to show us many award-winning films, and so definitely they teach you a lot about, I won't say acting as much, but from the direction point of view, you learn a lot more. And from the acting point of view, हॉलीवुड से बहुत हेल्प मिलता है. But the Spanish films, the French films, unme I love watching them for the writing, for the cinematography, because the detailing they do is very beautiful. It's very beautiful. उनका हर set का colors are coordinated in a way where it goes with the emotion of the whole film. So even to the room के पीछे जो wallpapers लगे हुए हैं, right? They are in certain aspects to how the story is going. So it's that detailed and it was beautiful. But acting के point of view से I I prefer watching Hindi because मेरा niche हिंदी है. मेरे को ज्यादा इमोशन आई फील इन हिंदी मैं जब बात करता हूँ, तो ज्यादा इट्स मोर नेचुरल टू मी. सो आई डू प्रेफर बॉलीवुड मूवीज. नॉट एग्जैक्टली, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट बॉलीवुड मसाला फिल्म्स पर से, राइट? बिकॉज दैट इज अ सुपरस्टार अप्रोच. वो तो इज वेरी डिफरेंट. But though there are a lot of web series that are really nice, the acting that are really nice. So uske through you get to learn a lot. And very honestly, uh, movies से ज्यादा ना जब आप plays देखते हो, that is where you learn. I 2 days back I went to see this. I went to watch this play by Manav Kaul. He's a Bollywood director who directed this play. It had a very experienced cast. It had Gopal Dutt, it had Sumit Vyas in it, and they're all very well-known actors in the industry. And watching them up close, 5 feet away, and looking at the expressions, looking at the deliveries, it was a very big learning curve. खुद पे शर्म आ गई थी.
I mean, it's a journey, right? And you've
Yeah.
just begun. So, but you bring up a great point about theater. One thing I noticed was I had gone for a play a while ago. I mean,
Hmm.
you mentioned you were 5 feet away from the actor, so that's a different, experience. But I personally, I mean, there were, I think, famous performers for the play I
Hmm.
went for, but the distance, right? I really couldn't see the expressions on their face. So I think if you go to watch a play, you've got to
Hmm.
have the front row seats. Otherwise, especially for a person like you, right, who's trying to master his craft. Otherwise, when sitting in the back, sort of like it's not as exciting because when you're watching a movie, right, big
Hmm.
screen, if the director is trying to show the emotion on the face, everybody is able to see it. So I think
Hmm.
distance, I think, is becomes in my mind, right, when you were talking about the distance, I think becomes a limiting factor, right?
To an extent, but so एक और भी चीज है कि at the end of the day ना आपके expressions, what you're saying does not matter. It's all about के जो emotion आपको आ रहा है वो दूसरे तक पहुंच रहा है कि नहीं. And that is the actor's main job. कि जो आपको फील हो रहा है क्या वो दूसरे को फील करा पा रहे हो आप.
Very well said.
And that I feel Meko when I watch. So I was talking about Prithvi Theatre. So Prithvi Theatre has a very different kind of stage where there's audience all around. It's really up close. But St. Andrews Theatre जो है वहाँ पे there are it's a bigger theater. It's जो आप जैसे कह रहे हैं कि पूरा ऐसे सामने से होता है and it's further away. I still connect to the actor. I still learn from it because I don't know. Maybe I just do. मेरे को उतना फर्क नहीं लगता है. It was definitely a way bigger learning curve जब मैंने when I saw them up close, but सीखने को नॉर्मल प्लेस में भी मिलता है.
Very nice. Yeah, you're giving some very interesting responses. I didn't expect them from somebody, I mean, you sound very mature. The interesting thing to me is actually, so you're 20, and what age did you leave home to come to Mumbai?
I left home at the age of 17.
Yeah, so that takes a lot of courage, right? So, what what do you foresee in the next coming months? Because I'm now very curious and anxious to see what you present to the world through the social media, because that's the best way to get access to your works.
Hmm. So, actually, I'm thinking of switching my niche, where up until now my niche was relatable comedy, right? But as I've been wanting to make a lot more cinematic content, okay, where it could be proper stories लिखकर उनको post करना with good camera angles. So there's this one creator that I am very much influenced by now is I mean his name. It's Priyanshu, and he is a filmmaker, writer filmmaker. He acts in his this thing as well. And उसके उसके रील्स देख के दिखता है कि यार दिस इज क्वालिटी कंटेंट, लाइक ये बहुत मेहनत से बनाया गया है. वेराज मेरा इज वेरी के हाँ जोक बढ़िया था.
No, but the
तो
jokes, I
आई
think.
एम.
Sorry, go ahead.
हाँ जी.
I'll let you finish and then I'll.
या सो आई एम मूविंग फ्रॉम आई एम thinking of moving from my niche to something a bit more cinematic. जैसे मैंने अभी आपको before the interview when we were talking, so I told you about that idea. So that will be a lot more cinematic while also having the essence of relatable comedy.
Yeah, because I have heard from what I've, once in a while you're sitting in a lounge and you watching an actor giving an interview on TV, and most of them say that actually
Hmm.
comedy is the most difficult genre, is what I hear. So, yeah, that's what you started off with. And I think to make a human being laugh, I think is such a precious gift, right? And you're able to do that. So I think you're off to an amazing start.
Thank you, sir.
Now, yeah, would love to talk to you more as you move on with your journey. Uh, wish you the very best. So I hope to see you again soon. And what will be great is to have you after you come up with your first production. I mean, I think you want to launch yourself with a big bang, right? Is what I would think. So before we wind up, I do want to ask you, like, when you write a script, right? Uh,
Hmm.
especially when it's fiction, I always think, over the what I've experienced is I don't think there's anything like pure fiction. There is always an element of the screenwriter's experience or element of truth
Hmm.
in it, right? Would you
Hmm.
tend to agree with that statement or observation?
So not in my case, because what I write is very different to my reality or things I believe in. So uh, let's put it this way that my process is what if.
Got it.
So the current one I'm writing, what if a vampire calls you for an interview? फिर क्या होगा? And that's how you start writing.
Interesting. Yeah, now you've got me really curious. All right. So, hey, with that, we'll wind up this interview. But it's been a pleasure
Hmm.
talking to you. It's been fun and really inspired, very by your courage. And
Thanks, man.
wish you the very best. Hope you have you back soon. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar.